Oh, that's cool.
What? Okay, we're up. We're live. Way.
Happy days.
Today. Okay, guys, how are we doing? Just want to say a quick hello. We are going to get started pretty much straight away. So this is our live pizza party. So if you guys got any questions whatsoever,
with no pizza,
with no pizza, we haven't actually got any pizza, which I feel a bit upset.
Terrible pizza party. We failed miserably here.
We have. Next time we'll definitely get pizza. Definitely get pizza. So, okay, guys, if you've got any questions at all and you are with us, then please feel free just to ask questions. Just drop it into the comment box below, and yeah, we'll do our best to try and answer these questions. Hopefully, you've got some for us. Otherwise, it's going to be very boring for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, just look at us.
Yeah, just look at us. Why not? We do have a couple of questions though, which was left yesterday on the post. So I'm going to read through them. If anyone's wondering why I keep looking that way, it's because I've got another screen over there with your questions on. I'm not just being a bit.
I've got a screen with a phone with a screen on as well. So that's why we're looking all over the place.
Okay, cool. So what have we got on here? Well, I think we'll start with a really cool question, which will pass some time while waiting for people to ask us questions. Is from Mike Stewart, and he says, can we have an overview of updates and features rolling out over the next 6 months, particularly with version 3? That's probably more for Tim than me, I think.
Just chuck me in there right at the start.
Right at the start.
Yeah. So what we have got very, very soon, there will be MyZone in the software. So it just basically link to MyZone. And then you can pull in all data into your client activity section from those. So any clients with the MyZone app and the tracking belts, you'll be able to get all that. And you'll also be able to write stuff in your programs as well. So in the intensity, you can put in sort of MyZone red or MyZone green and that sort of thing. So that can add a really good layer, I think, to online training, because those of you that know MyZone, it's pretty cool, and it's easy to set the levels for clients, and I think that could be cool. After that, we're actually going to do the same thing with Fitbit. Because Fitbit's very popular, it's also a good tracker, and we found that it's quite easy to do these things, so we'll sneak that one in there while we can. And then we have, I think this will probably come in with V3, but we have a scheduling sort of system that we've apparently pretty much built. I haven't actually seen it because the way things are a little bit now, because I tend to get too overexcited about it and say, hey, we've got this. It'll come out next week, and in actual fact, it's got a way to go. So the way we sort of do it now is I get involved much more with the concept and creation and design originally, and then I just hand it over and say, right, you guys go with that, and they'll then show me when it's ready. So it's not completely ready. I know what the concept was, and it'll be a little bit like Calendly in its functionality, but it will also have a lot of face-to-face booking, which would be cool. So you can kind of book classes and book face-to-face sessions as well as phone calls, Skype calls for your online stuff. So again, it'll be a nice addition, and I think that'll come in with V3 rather than as its own separate, because what we're doing after the integrations is we're basically going to move the way we have it at the moment. We have kind of a design user experience team that we're doing a lot of work with now, and so they'll take something, run with it until they're done, and then we pass it to the actual development team who will put it in and make it a live function, if that makes sense. So we're taking V3 now, and that's come from the design, which is pretty much complete, and it's going into the developers. So we're just shifting everyone towards that. So I think until that is live, there won't be a lot of new features. It will be everyone kind of working on that. Now, what that will be, you've seen it. Well, you've seen a bit of it, haven't you?
I've seen a bit of it, yeah, a little bit of it. Which looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Really, really good. I love it.
Yeah, it's wicked. I mean, the thing is, it's PT distinction. It's not different. It's not like a list of features that we'll be adding. It's just PT distinction probably times 10, because it is just so much better laid out. The sort of key things we're looking at is workflow, ease of use for trainers, ease of use for clients. Basically, the way it's designed is you should just be able to log in and pretty much intuitively know what you're doing, know how to use not just the simple things in PT Distinction, but absolutely everything. So all of the sort of bells and whistles, the automation and the groups and the messaging and programs and everything should just be very, very easy for trainers to produce. It's very, very easy to keep track of what your clients are doing because that's all just displayed straight out. It looks probably about 100 times better than what it does at the moment.
I think that's one of the biggest. The first thing I noticed when I first saw it was that look side of it. It looks so much cleaner. It looks so much more modern. I think it's going to be it looks so good. And I think that's going to be the biggest standout thing, I think, for it. Yeah. Compared to usability. Usability wise, is so much better. So much better.
Yeah, I think so. And the apps as well, just amazing. They just look. I mean, they look amazing. They look really, really good, and they are so easy. It's, you know, at the moment, a lot of people, a lot of trainers, and I think quite rightly, want to make videos of the app, show your clients around. There just won't be any need for that at all anymore. So someone will log into the app, your client will get the app, and they'll be shown with this little sort of thing that guides them around. But even the thing will be branded.
This bit here.
It'll be branded like a branded guide around the apps. But once you see it, once you use it, it's exactly like using any other native app on your phone, on your device. So it's very, very natural, very easy, and it should really need no explanation. Clients should not need help with anything. And I think at the moment, the look of everything is not as good as I would like it to be. And I think looks are becoming more important. So the look is going to be amazing. It really is. All of it is 10 times better than I imagined it could be. But it's not new features necessarily. I think as I say, the scheduling might come in with it. It's every current feature is just a lot better. Every current feature is easier to use, faster to use, looks a lot better. Clients will find it easier. Trainers will find it easier. It's just PT Distinction, but better.
Right, PT Distinction version 3. It's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
Cool, awesome. Hopefully that answers that question anyway. Quite a lot of detail, which is good. Yes, it should do. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Some really cool stuff coming in, which I like. What else we got on here? Then we went for yesterday. Can you upload exercise videos from YouTube? From what I've seen, you can only upload them from the computer and not a URL. That's from Jamie McDonald. So no, it's the short answer to that. The moment you can't upload directly from YouTube straight to PT Distinction. I think that's better, to honest with you, because I think you maintain ownership of your videos when you do that. I also think it's better because the last thing you want to do by sharing a YouTube URL, especially now it's owned by a certain big company, means that you get loads of adverts all over it. And the last thing you want to do is have adverts popping up over your exercise video, distracting your clients from what you want to do. So by actually uploading your own videos and taking ownership of those videos means you have none of that, and it's just your video that's on there for them to use. That's what I feel anyway, and I think it's a better way of doing it. I think what Tim thinks. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think exactly the same. And I mean, this question does come up a lot, and I think it comes up because other softwares do link up to YouTube. The idea behind it is it makes it easy, but actually you end up you're embedding other people's videos. So if they see that you've embedded their videos, they can put any kind of advertising, annotations, anything they like on that video. They can even link it straight back to their stuff. So as you say, you are losing control. And if you do it with someone that's smart, you're giving them so many ways to just take your clients. And you cannot download videos from YouTube unless they're your own. So you won't be able to play them offline as well, or you shouldn't be able to legally play them offline.
No, you can't legally play them offline,
So I don't know if it has been done elsewhere, but it would not be legal. And then YouTube could make that done.
Big issue for you,
yeah. The other thing I would say about that is just that if you've put your videos up onto YouTube, don't delete them from your device. You can put them on a memory stick or something like that if they're slowing down a computer or a phone. But you shouldn't just give them to YouTube and then delete them. So they should be on your device anyway, and you just put them straight up to PT Distinction, which is hopefully quicker than putting them on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. I suppose if you have just joined PT Distinction, I know what I see quite a lot on the group anyway is people say it's a bit of a pain, especially with the done for you packages. It happens quite a bit as well, where they say, I've got all these videos on YouTube, or some people have it on Vimeo and whatever. They say, I've got to redo them again or download them again or whatever, because they haven't kept them on the hard drive. Like Tim said, it's a good idea to keep it on your computer or on a separate hard drive. I believe as well, if you have got them up on YouTube, you can, as long as you own them, you can download them as well. So
right.
you just have to download them back down again. And I know it might take a bit of time, but in the long run, it's definitely worth it for the sake of sitting there and clicking download on them. That's what I think. What else we got on here then? We've got any comments on this bit? Oh, we have. Simon says hi. Mark says stop teasing us about version 3. Which is cool.
Sorry.
So Simon, can you guys give us a brief overview on changes to the rep and sets tracking and mobile forms? So I guess you talk about the reps and set tracking for exercises, I'm guessing, and obviously mobile forms. So I'm guessing you're talking there, Simon, about that we can't actually complete them on the mobile app at the moment, and about what's happening with that. So I'm guessing that's what he's asking about.
Okay, again, this is a V3 item. So it's not going to be immediate. Reps and sets within the app. Basically, the way I think it's going to work. The current design is that, let's say you have a circuit of 3 exercises within your program, and you have 4 sets of 3 exercises. What you do is you click a button and it takes you or the client into the workout. So you get into the workout, and when you're in the workout, you have a video and you have basically what you need to do. You have a little button, or quite a big button, that says record result, and you have another one that says film your exercise technique. So you click record result, you record your result, and then you click on next exercise. It takes you to the next exercise, do the same, takes you to the next exercise, do the same, and it will go. So you do your 3 exercise circuit, and it will take you round through 4 sets. You just record. And then once you've done the 4 sets, it'll take you on to the next section of the program where you can do the same thing. So it becomes very, very obvious. It'll just move you to the next exercise of the program, however it is written in the program.
Almost makes it a bit more intuitive for your client. I think like that, to me, this sounds much more intuitive to use and much simpler when you're having a workout, just after next type of thing.
Yeah, basically. So you record result, click next exercise, and done, and go like that. So that's how they'll record them, which will make it much more obvious that they need to record 4 sets. Then if they want to demonstrate it, so just below each exercise, there is a little sort of graphy type icon which they can just click, and it'll show them all their past results.
Oh, cool. Awesome. What's one here? Awesome. Sounds great, which is good. Maybe I missed this. Forms, that was it. Yeah, forms.
Forms as well. So what we don't want to do is put an auto log out on the app, because I think it's annoying.
Yeah, definitely annoying.
So basically, to keep the forms as secure as possible, we would either have to put an auto log out on the app, or we would have to keep them in the software. So we decided to keep them in the software, but what we do with it, so you know how you can put forms in the schedule. We're basically, when you put forms in the schedule, or you put something in the schedule, you can link it. So you click on the schedule, it'll take you on your mobile, so the inside of the actual integrations will be much, much better on mobile. So it'll take you to that. You can log in on the integration on your mobile. You can get the form on your mobile. So it's just a straight link. And then you can fill it out on your mobile. Either you can stay in the integration, which will function very, very nicely on a phone, or you can come back into the app just by clicking back and back. And then you'll be back in the app to do the rest of your stuff. So that's how we're getting around that one.
Cool. I like that's quite cool. It's a good idea, that is. You mentioned there about just because I'm curious about asking, people ask me this quite a lot as well, especially on the masterclasses. you mentioned about putting links into the schedule for the forms. Is that going to be across the board as well? So if people can want to put in links and they can go to other things, which is very cool, very, very useful. Like there's loads of things you could do with Lexi, which I think is really, really cool. I do like.
Yeah, I think so. I think so is the answer. We haven't really discussed it with anything other than forms and sort of much longer assessments. Probably. I think if you can put links in, you can put links in would be my guess. But you can, even if you can't, you can put links into the in-app messages and all of those bits. So there is always going to be that flexibility to put links to anything you like. So sort of yes.
Cool, sort of yes. I like those answers. Yeah, cool. What's Mark's mentioned here? So do you mean like Google Forms? Or in terms of how Google Forms open up in a browser, I'm guessing is what you mean. I think we've done with Mark. Mark wanted to use Google Forms as a way of linking to the spreadsheets inside his app, so he could get people to upload it without having to open up the Sheets app, basically. So you can set it up so you create a link within the app. That's one of our weird workarounds. So you can basically set it up so that within the in-app messages you can put the Google link into it. You can click it, complete the form, and it'll update the Google spreadsheet basically inside the app without actually having to open up a separate app to do it. So yeah, you can. I guess it basically initiates a need for Google Forms because the forms can now be opened up that way, and I guess it would open up exactly the same way, but then take you through to a browser, and you just hit the back button. Or I say back technically to go back into the app. Cool. What's this? Another question popped up. I can have one form and everyone fills that out. I have them e-sign at the end, and then all the info is in one place. That's cool. I think Mark's just saying the way he does it. That's all the way he sets it up at the moment, which is pretty cool. About using that same setup with an e-sign on it. Awesome. All right, let's flip back onto the other questions. This is why I asked for hashtag PTD Pizza Party, so I can search the hashtag and I can find the questions.
I see. I'm just searching around for questions here like an idiot.
That's what you to do. Let's read the questions out. What else we got on here? Okay, this is quite a cool one because we get asked. I get asked it quite a lot, and I know it comes up on the group quite a lot. So I know you jump in, Tim, with this quite a lot as well. So Max asked, I'm keen to hear both of your thoughts on setting prices based on your worth rather than your target market. So, for example, I know Mike, for example, because I'm doing a few stuff at the moment, he works with stay-at-home mums, and he wants to know, like, basically, do you set it on your worth or do you set it on what they can afford? Because he thinks a lot of people battle with that. So I think it's quite a good question, actually.
I'll let you go first on that.
Oh, cool. So this is what... Basically, the answer is actually both, is what you do. Now, if you go back before the times of PT Distinction and you're doing like one-to-one stuff, then it is harder. So if you're giving it your time directly to do this kind of thing, it is hard sometimes to weigh up what your worth is for that hour or that hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it is you take to actually run that one session compared to what someone can afford. But when you do stuff online, especially when you've got software like PT Distinction that allows you to replicate stuff very easily, but they basically click a button and also automate a lot of that replication, it means that you can still charge what you're worth. So, for example, if it takes you an hour to, say if you're worth $100 an hour, for example, just for easy numbers, $100 an hour, and you want to charge $100 an hour for that one mum to do something, she might not be able to afford it. But using PT Distinction or using any sort of automation like that allows you to deliver exactly the same sort of service, if not better sometimes, to that client, but you can do it to multiple clients at the same time. So within that hour, you're now serving 10 clients, 20 clients, 30 clients, or even 5 clients, doesn't particularly matter. So you no longer have to charge them that $100 an hour. You can now charge them $20, $10, whatever it is. So I think with the online world, you can quite comfortably still charge your worth for your time, but also still adjust your price to fit within your target market as well, I think. I don't know what you think, Tim.
I like that answer. I think it's a tricky one, isn't it, with the pricing? I think, I always say in the group when people ask it, I like to be really, really easy, just work out how long it's going to take you, multiply it by 1.5 times your your face-to-face rate, because I think you want to make more money for your time online. I also think when I say that you got to slightly have a grasp on the software, because what you can do with your time is a lot more than what any other trainer who isn't using it can do with their time. So you're still going to be very, very competitively priced. But I think with pricing, the way it's going to go, if you want to bring in a lot of clients, I have a feeling that it's going to be a case of offer a great service for a fair price. And I think that's kind of the way the world is moving. I think worldwide in developed countries, we all have slightly less disposable income than we did 5 years ago. And that's probably going to carry on, even though we're out of recession. The fact is there's more people, there's less jobs, there's more machines to do jobs. So I think that's the way of the world. So value for money will be important. So this is why I asked you the other day, actually, Ash, what you thought about the high-end online.
Yeah, high-end ticket stuff, yeah.
And as you said, there'll always be a place for it. There will always be a place. But I think that the general market is moving towards, you've got to provide something great for a fair price, and then people will love it, they'll stick with it, they'll keep going. So, just give them what they need. Think about what they can afford. But at the same time, you've got to think about your life, what you want to do, what you want to create with your life. And you've got to price it to actually be able to do that. You've got to price it to get the life that you want whilst giving your potential clients a pretty fair price. I know it gets a little bit complicated, but there is no point in doing this if what you're going to end up creating is that you're working more hours for less money.
Yeah.
That's pointless. Don't go online if that's what you're going to have. You've got to sit down, really, when you work out your prices, you've got to sit down and you've got to think about, what do I want my life to look like when I really get this thing nailed? Then you've got to actually work out how much that's going to cost. Then you've got to think about how many clients do you want to take on? Work out a price from there. And if it sits in an area that is like, yeah, I'm offering something really great for a price that's good here, then you bang on. You're absolutely doing the right thing. If it doesn't, then you've got to think about either how can I automate it a little bit more so that I can do more in less time, or how can I attract the sort of more wealthy client? What do I have to do in order to do that? But I think work out what you want, set a pricing to actually achieve what you want in life, and then you're going to work much harder towards it and to achieve that, and then make it fit with the number of clients and everything else. And
yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That's a roundabout way.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with that. I think so many people, when they talk about prices, it's what I find anyway, it's like, we'll pick prices, or what's someone else doing, or what's this person doing, what's that doing. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference whatsoever what somebody else is doing or what you think the market is like. Well, like Tim has mentioned there, it's so important that you focus on exactly what you want out of your life whenever you're doing something like this, and then kind of reverse it back from that one. Because until you actually know exactly what you want and what you want to achieve and what you want to get out of whatever you're doing, then you don't know what you need to charge. The chances are you'll undercharge, and then you'll just end up working your socks off and then end up doing what 90% of trainers do, is stop doing it. So you might as well, you just need to really think about this properly and have a good sit down and think exactly what you want out of your life, what you want to achieve from what you're doing, what you want to achieve from the time that you're investing in that, and then you work out how much you want to charge for it from there. And then you work out the systems that allow you to charge that amount of money. And I think that's basically it.
Basically.
There was I know kind of digress a little bit on this, but there was Dan, my PT website, or my personal training website, put up a post the other day that like a kind of a time investment type, how much your time's worth type questionnaire, like an Excel sheet.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that he actually got that. I don't know if you saw, I put a post up about a week ago about time investment stuff. And he messaged me after that and said, "Oh, can we have a look at doing this?" So we put this thing together. And yeah, so this is this idea. Well, he put it together and he sent it through. Yeah. And it's like, I want to basically take this and put in the idea of time invested as well, not just we had the calculator before. So we looked at adding that stuff in there, and I think that's a really cool tool. if I can, I'll put the link up after this to go to it, because it is really, really useful just to put the information in. It kind of really gives you a true idea of what you're charging your time out for, and what you're investing your time for. And it makes you really think about, do I need to change something here? Whether it's I change my price point, or whether I change my systems to allow me to make more.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
I think that's, I looked at that actually. I did look at it because I do like Dan's stuff.
Yeah.
I like it even more now I know you're involved. But what I slightly think about that is, in a way, things like that make you think of, you work out how much time you spend on every individual task. And I think actually when you get going, what you've got to kind of think about with online and an online business, probably the business side of it even more than the training side of it, is probably don't do every single individual task for every single individual person. You know, to put marketing hours in per person, to me seems a little bit silly, because you can run a Facebook ad for 5-6 months and it's going to be really good, and you can't charge that hour for every person.
The idea is to try and put in, I think with stuff like that, you have to, whenever you work it, if you're doing it manually, is to think about that time over a given period. So over like I know. So because it's not particularly about the person, I think, when you're charging per person. I think the key thing for me is to work out your time per hour. And then once you've got your time per hour, you can work out what to charge per person if you want to do it that way. So you do have to be careful with those sort of calculators. It's very easy to find one that is literally per person and not about the actual hours.
Then when you do that, you'll end up saying, right, I need to charge £1,000 a month. I wasn't going to pay nothing for my time here. And the other thing that's worth considering when doing that is personal trainers will say, well, my hourly rate is, let's say your hourly rate is £40 an hour, so I must charge £40 an hour. What personal trainers forget is the time that they put in outside of personal training as well for that £40 an hour. So you still got your programming, you still got your meal planning and things like that. So if you're taking everything into account like that, you've got to take everything into account.
Yeah, which I think you should do, which is why I like calculator. That's literally the only one I've ever seen that does it.
If your price comes up too high, I think rather than think about, well, how am I going to get clients at £2,000 a month, start thinking about how you can systemize your approach and make your time more efficient to bring that price down.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're spot on there, definitely. Yeah, work on efficiency first, get the efficiency right, look at the systems, and then you can easily dissimulate that cost per hour across X number of clients.
Yeah, exactly. It's
really cool. Well, I've just actually gone back onto there's loads of questions now. I actually get people coming asking us questions, which is cool. So what's next? I'll do it in order, I might as well.
I just got a notification to say you're live.
Hey, woo!
It's only just come up now for me.
Oh, well, that's probably why people are popping in. They've just been told. Okay, cool. So what we're looking at. So Clayto, can we set up SSO with website login and training login? So if anyone doesn't know, SSO is a single site authorization, basically. Optimization. So it's the idea that you can, let's say if you've got a membership site on a website and you get them to log in so they can access certain stuff on there, whether they want to download stuff, buy something from a shop or whatever. The idea is that you could use that same login by logging into one place that will then also log into another. So for example, you would log in on your website and it would also log into PT Distinction, or you'd also log into, I don't know, Thinkific, for example, or whatever you had on there. That's basically what SSO is. So yeah, I don't know. It's my honest answer. I don't know if Tim knows. If Tim knows the answer or not.
I was going to ask you if you had any of your genius workarounds on that one.
I probably could find a way of doing it. I think it would be. Aesthetically, all you've got to do is make a bit of code that would tell your website to put the information into the PTD login, so it's sat there. I could do that one. So it would set up so the login details there. You just have to click go in. Whether it will automatically log it in, so it's automatically there and open when you get to that page, I'm not sure. But I could definitely try and find a way.
Do you know what? My screen's not on view, is it? It's just me. Because I discussed this very subject with Adam this morning.
Right.
At the moment, technically there is no obvious way to do it, no direct way to do it. I would imagine you can sort of set something up because you do that, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Has Adam replied to that email? Because I haven't looked at the reply that he sent me.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll have a look now.
Yeah. There's a way of indirectly doing it, but not to the point where it'll automatically be logged in for them to stay in. It will just be that the information is actually already added into the box, so they can just click on it and go into it. If that makes sense. So you don't have to retype it all out. You do it that way. That can autofill, I suppose.
My emails don't want to open. You're slowing down my computer too much with this Zoom.
The tech company with a slow computer.
Right, that my computer's terrible. When I'm on Zoom or Skype or anything like that, it just hits it badly, really badly.
Mine does the same, to be fair. Sometimes we've just
anyway. It's a tech company, but I am the non-tech one. I'm just like the non-tech they test things. They test things on me. Usually, it's like sort of retard proofing it to get me to try and use it, and
I love it
with no instruction. That's why I'm good at testing.
Yeah, definitely. Not too good at it. Just go and test it. Cool. I reckon we'll come back to that once you manage to get your emails working on your phone. I'm guessing that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
What's this? When will the new workouts be uploaded? That's the question that's come in. Well, we literally talked about that before we went live a minute ago.
Go check out the blog.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Go onto the blog, the PTD blog, and have a look. Everything's on there for you, so you can find out exactly what's happening with that.
I did. It's live on the blog, but I'm trying to. At the moment, I'm getting Adam to correct one or two of my spelling mistakes, and put the picture live that I meant to put in, which wasn't live. So we'll see if he's done that already.
Yeah, so we'll let us know if we're going to have a look.
All of the exercises are now live, so all the ones we're adding right now are live, and yeah, there is a list of them on the blog. So go and have a look at that. I could even put up a link, couldn't I?
Yeah, let's put it in the Facebook group somewhere.
Yeah, let's chuck it in here. I'll put it in the conversation here, because I will say something proper about it in a minute. Once we're off this, I was actually going to email out about it and email the list out as well.
Cool.
I literally finished putting all the tracking, so every individual exercise has different tracking. So I did that just before we got on this call.
Cool.
Yeah, going funny again.
I'll get posted on there.
Just have a look at the blog. There's a list of all the exercises on there, and they are now there. And when my computer stops playing funny games, I will actually put the link in there.
Awesome. Tim Drummond asked, pineapple on pizza, good or bad? You should not be eating pizza, Tim. I'm telling you now. I thought he was on a diet.
It's never going to hold, is it? Never going to hold.
Never going to hold. Never going to get pineapple on pizza. Okay, cool. What else we've got on here? Show prices or don't show prices on the site. I feel like Shakespeare. To show or not to show prices. Yeah.
You want to answer this one?
Can do, yeah. I think honestly it depends. The reason I say depends is if you're selling very, very high ticket, sometimes it can be very hard to. I'm talking like really, really high ticket. If you're going to pop like 3-4 grand for a 15-week program on a website and hope that someone's going to cold land on your website and buy it, it's probably not going to happen. But I think if you're in the mid-range, the lower end range maybe, then I think yes, I think it's a good idea, because the other way of looking at it is if people come to your site and you want them to maybe sign up to something, give them your email address or whatever, and they don't know your price, you could just be wasting your effort in actually trying to sell to them, because they might not want to pay for it, they might not want to do anything, they could be getting because they don't know what the price is, so it's just a bit of waste of effort, I think. And I think it comes down to a little bit about what Minton was talking about earlier, about having the right sort of systems in place and not wasting your time on other things, because you don't want to be spending money on emailing people who are never going to buy that program because you haven't given them the price. You want to be spending money on people that can look at that and go, yes, I think from what I've seen so far that you're offering value for money, you're offering a good service, so I'm going to at least try and apply for this, or I'm at least going to go and buy this. So I think in most cases, 99% of the time, it's a good idea to put prices on your website. again, unless you're high ticket, then probably not. I don't know what you think, Tim.
I actually agree 100%. I think, high ticket, probably leave it off, but anything else, have one. I think a lot of the time when you think about sort of things you do business-wise, marketing-wise, just put it through your own buying decisions. So if you go to a website and prices aren't displayed on it, do you buy something? Most likely you just click away and disappear. If you go into a shop, same thing actually, a lot of the very, very high-end shops, you go into sort of Versace, quite often the prices won't be there. If you go into, any normal shop, they will have prices there, so you can make your decisions and pick up what you want to pick up or not have it. It's part of the buying decision, so I would say in most cases have prices on your website.
Cool. So Ryan's saying save $100 a month you'd show. Yeah, I'd show $100 a month. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What else we got on here then? Mark Dion. That's Mark answering someone else's question. We've got loads of them on here.
Bring Mark in.
Should the prices for high ticket programs be displayed on the website? We've literally just answered that, so I hope that's answered it, Dion. And Mark's also answered that, saying, as advised by Dan at my PT website, not to put high ticket prices on the website. So yeah, even Dan agrees with us as well, which is good.
Well, there we go. If it's website related and Dan agrees, we know we're in the right area.
Yeah, we must be talking some sense somewhere. Lamar, what's the major differences between workouts now and the new ones? Well, I don't think they're just new exercises.
Yeah, basically. Just new options. That's all it is. I would say the areas that we have covered mainly are, so it's actually a weird one because we've gone really simple exercises, so machine-based, things that we were missing, gym machines, so leg press, your sort of leg extension and calf raise on a leg press, and flies on a machine, that sort of thing, lat pull downs. So all the basic gym ones, cardio gym machines, which again, your treadmill, your Stairmaster, all of those sorts of things, which I think were sort of glaring misses that we had initially. And then we've gone sort of more advanced. We've got lots of SAQ, lots of ladder work, stuff that really doesn't really require much equipment, which is great for online. It just requires a bit of space and that people charge about. So it's, I think it's quite a cool mix of exercises. But yeah, as you say, it's just new options, just extra options that people can use. Yeah,
cool, awesome, happy days. What else we got on the about ticket? I'm going to try and keep around this. I know we just jumped off the high ticket wise, but there's a lot of discussion about prices now coming from, as you can imagine. So what we've got on here, we've got 2K. Show it or not? Well, I would actually ask the question: is that 2K a month or 2K a year? Luckily, I'm helping Dion build this, so I know exactly what he's talking about. So he's talking about it's about a 15-week program, total 15-week program for 2K. So I probably wouldn't. I'd look at a different system in order to get people to buy that. I'd have to I wouldn't just post it on the website, put it that way. I think to sell something for 2K, I think you have to do. Let's start again. You have to do three things, I think, in order to try and sell something, sell anything, but especially at the high end. So it's really important that people, they like you, that they trust you, and they want to listen to you. And if you can do those three things, then you can almost sell most, you could sell anything. So I think if you can establish that before they get to where that price is, then you could put it there. But I think if you were just to drop 2K on a website, then you might possibly have issues with people signing up, because you have to really establish that level of trust and the fact that they like you first and that they want to pay that amount of money to actually listen to what you have to say. So you've got to build that up first before you actually get to the point where you're saying this is going to cost 2K. So yeah, that's what I think anyway.
I think I agree. I would say 2K, you would be doing well to sell it any other place than on the phone. But if it's a 15-week program at 2K, it's $130 a week. So could you spend $30 a week on a website? Maybe. maybe. I would play with both options myself. If you wanted to split into a weekly price or even a monthly price on that one, so it's what, 400, just under 500 a month. You know, I'd play with that. I'd test it and see if it worked. But if you still straight out 2K, I would suggest you do well to do it anyway. That's not on the phone. Is Tim Drummond still here?
He's around because he was just taking the mick about pineapple pizza with me. He
went, about pizza. He can jump in a little bit with an answer there because that is basically his bread and butter.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dion, if you're around, find Tim Drummond. He's around here somewhere, hovering around, doing stuff. So just tag him into it and ask him the question, because that is literally what he does. He helps people sell 2K programs over 12, 15-week programs. So, yeah, that is literally what he does.
But I would personally, going back to it, I wouldn't put a price of 2K on a website, personally.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think
it would do you any favour.
Well, I think, Dion, you're working with Dan. He's working with Dan at the moment, so just get him to build you a couple of options. Yeah, make it work. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I think anyway, Dion.
Oh, Dan will get that set up so that you go. So someone hits your website, and I believe what Dan will probably do is make them see a lot of your content, and then put in some kind of application for a phone call. So he tends to do the client journey very step by step, which is, I think, what you need if you're selling at 2K.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Cool. What's we got on here? Jimingus, I've learned to put a range of prices is good. Thoughts? So I'm guessing that's the idea of, you go on the website and you have kind of like your three. Well, it's normally three for a reason, but there's three kind of price areas: kind of a lower one, a minimum range, and a high range. Generally speaking, in fact, I think if you go into the success map, it'll probably talk about this, if I remember rightly. It's been a long time since I've been in there, but it's I think it does talk about this actually in there. I think the general concept is that you have a low end one that's literally fully automated or something like that. You have a middle range one which is kind of semi-automated, which is a reasonable price, which is worth your value, and then you have a high end one which is generally considerably a lot more than the low end one, sorry, the middle range one. And that basically then applies more value to the middle range one because it's extortionate. So it makes it look more like it's worth more value. So I think having a range of maybe 3 packages is good. And you might notice that if you go on Tim's website, there's 3 packages. You might notice if you go on my website, there's 3 packages, all based in the same sort of way. So I think it's good to have, from a sales point of view, I think it helps with conversions a little bit and establishes value of a particular package. But you do have to do a lot of work before then. I think you do have to do some work before then to establish that value. So having 3 packages without any, like Tim mentioned, about building that client journey up first, doesn't really make any difference. I don't think. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think the other way some people do a range of prices is to sort of state somewhere that prices will be between, let's say, £50 and £150 or something like that, rather than put the package and the price. I actually used to do that when I was doing face-to-face personal training, when I was setting up my face-to-face business, and that it did work quite well then. It was quite effective, but that was, there must be 8-9 years ago.
It'd be interesting to chat about that, just because
the way I did it was basically is you have that range of pricing to say this is roughly the ballpark. It was a very expensive service. And then I had a free consultation where I'd go to their house and I'd do the consultation. So the reason the range was good in that circumstance was because it indicated that it was expensive. It meant that I didn't have to go for consultations with people who were hoping it would be £10 an hour or something like that. But at the same time, it didn't put the prices there that would put people off and people compare on price. So I think it can work well. And I think it's good if your prices are expensive, but also if what you do to bring clients through that next level is time consuming.
Yeah.
So if you for example, offer a free Skype consultation, which is an hour and a half long, where you do your full assessment or something like that. That's a lot of time you've got to put in. So you don't want, even if you're selling sort of your 2K product, people coming in and sort of looking for something cheap, and it's never going to work because you're wasting a lot of time. So it kind of gets a little middle ground in there. So that way can work quite well, I think.
That's good you mentioned that, because I don't know if you saw it, but Jim was literally just popped up as you're saying it, saying I actually meant what you said, not what I said. So it's good job you said that, which is all good. Yeah. Just going on that a little bit, I've seen people, I don't know what your experience was when you did this. Did you put that on your website, or did you do it for the form? Because I've seen people do it with forms before, where they'll say, actually, you can apply here, and then one of the questions on the form is, are you willing to invest between X and Y amount of money?
Yeah. Good question. I tried it on both. Do you know what I did? Is I had, this is a long time ago as well, so it might not be as useful. But I had, at one point, I had the price range on my website. And then what I did after that was I had a phone call. So it was apply for a free phone call, which did work back then. I'm not sure just apply for a free phone call works anymore. You got to offer something a bit more.
Bit more.
But then on the call, before booking in the consultation that I would do with people, I would say, this is the price range. Are you happy with that? And they would say yes. In actual fact, that works better. So in the modern day online environment, you might be talking about having that range on a form. But I still think people look for prices when they look on websites. So if you're not too expensive, I would put the price on the website.
Yeah, cool.
If you are expensive, I would play with other options and see what works best.
I think testing's a good idea, because you can test, you can still make money whilst you're testing, so there's nothing wrong with testing.
Exactly.
You might as well test stuff. Question, what would you consider high ticket? Okay, so we've got this VIP performance coaching is $350 a month for 6 months. If you're paying for, you get 1 year for 6 months bonus, so you get 6 months free. So what would we consider as high ticket? I'd say, I don't know, like, it's interesting how you put it, because if you asked me this, literally, if you asked me this 30 minutes ago, I'll probably say about 2K. I'll just pull the figure off the top of my head. Yeah. But within that 30 minutes, Tim has just said about breaking it down into like the monthly and the weekly. And when you say a couple hundred, £500 a month, or you say, £130 a week, that's a very different way of looking at it. And that does not ring high ticket in my head at all. And I also kind of think $2,000 has always been this thing that's thrown around, and about as a high ticket figure, it's been around for a long time. I also think maybe it probably isn't, if you split it outright and you sell it right. I think it's quite a good question, actually. I don't know now what I would class as high ticket now. Tim's got me thinking.
The thing is what I think is actually we've got on a subject here that could go on for hours and hours and hours, because there's a lot more to it. So could you sell 300? Is this pounds or dollars?
It'll be dollars. It's
okay.
It's Anthony, so it'll be dollars, yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you've got $300 a month, could you sell that on a website with prices on a website? Yes, but you need a lot of content. Like, you need good content, and a lot of it, not just on your website, but you need people following that on social media. You need people seeing it, not necessarily engaging with it, but you need to know that that content is top quality. You need to know that people are actually looking at it, and you need people to actually see quite a lot of your content before they would go in and purchase a package at that price. After they've done that, $350 a month, that's sellable. But let's say you're trying to sell it off the back of a Facebook advert to people that don't know who you are. You will never sell it on a website ever, 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 ever.
You'd never ever do. The amount of people I've spoken to about that and just have said they've spent so much money on just going to a website ad. They'll do something like a website ad. They give them a 7-day free trial, and they'll try and sell something for £1,500 for 8 weeks or whatever. You just stop wasting your money. Stop it. Just stop it now. Or do something different. Yeah, it's never going to happen.
So I guess, when we're talking rather high ticket, low ticket, or get someone on the phone, sell off your website, essentially, if you don't have a lot of content and a lot of people looking at your content at that price, I would say you would definitely have to have some form of content that brings people onto a phone call. So the typical is a webinar. You do a webinar, offer a phone call at the end of the webinar, or you offer a challenge, phone call at the end of the challenge, and then sell that off the back of it on that phone call. If you have a lot of people looking at some really good content that you've been followed for 6 months plus, and you put out something that's $350 a month, and it's a really good product, it's got lots of interaction from you and everything like that, yeah, I reckon you can sell it easily enough.
Cool, that's a good answer. I like it. Good answer. What else we got on here? Going through more now. Release date, question mark. I think this may have been said. I think that's probably to do with version 3 release date. Slowly moving away from prices. So yeah.
Get away from prices.
Yeah. Yeah.
So straight into release dates.
Yeah, let's go release dates instead. So there's
right.
Tim's release dates or real release dates? Which ones are we going for?
I think anyone that's been in this group a long time will know I'm not very good at release dates.
Yeah. It's going to be before your birthday or after your birthday. Let's go for that one.
It's going to be after my birthday.
Okay. So no one knows when your birthday is. Well, not many people know, so it's all right.
October is my birthday. It will be after October. Our current belief is that it will be sometime around about December. That is what we believe. It might be before then, it might be after then. With jobs of this size, it can go either way. But what we think is it'll be around about December time.
Cool. Nice Christmas present, everybody.
Yeah, that would be good. If it comes out for Christmas, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. We're spot on. Mark, this year or next year? I'm guessing it means this year. Yeah, this year. Cool. What else we got on here? Will Canty, where's the pizza? We failed. We did. Yeah, we didn't forget any pizza. We just brought water. That's it. Bottle of water. And a cup of tea. Yeah. We're not very good on the pizza.
We can't do this again. We have to have pizza. If and when we do this again, we need pizza.
Yeah, definitely have pizza.
Everyone else down, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I bet all these guys are sat there with pizza as well.
Yeah, if they have got pizza, take photos of your pizza, stick it in the comments.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone needs to have pizza.
Yeah, someone must have pizza just to save the day. Picture of pizza in the comments, please.
Yeah.
Is explained it depends on the client journey and to fit them in specific plan for them, more customized. Try and read that out again. Sorry, I think that's actually a statement, not a question. I was getting confused when I read that, to be honest with you. Dan has just popped up saying, I made pizza from scratch for this.
Good lad.
That's because you don't get that. Do you get good pizza in Thailand? I don't know if you do or not.
How good's that, though? We've just been praising Dan, and he's coming with homemade pizza as well.
It's so good, isn't it? Good.
And that's why we praise Dan.
Yeah, this could he'll come with homemade pizza and sometimes cake.
Amazing.
All right, let's go through some other questions we've got before we're getting on to about an hour now, which is cool.
Nice.
So we've got one there. That one we had already. What's this one? Features had that one. Okay, how often do you recommend sending emails to a client, whether it be motivational or a tip? Obviously, I do not want to flood their inbox. What sort of things would you use? Would you use emails? Would you use push notifications or in-app messages? Or would you just use text messages as opposed to email? Okay, cool. Yeah, start this one. So I think now in terms of P2D, with all the features we've got, so obviously you've got the in-app messages that you can automate, obviously, and schedule. You've got the SMS text messages, again, which you can automate and you can schedule, and obviously you've got the emails. But I generally have a kind of rule of thumb in my head that I kind of like for this. So I think email is obviously good for welcoming. I think if you've got a really big update, maybe drop it on email. It's kind of cool, like a big update that's going off of inside your program or a big change. I think in terms of motivational stuff and the tips, I think either I think push notifications are probably quite good for them. I think if you want to be really, really cool, which is what I do a lot with my clients sometimes, is I use the text messages to send out some motivational stuff, but very personal motivational stuff. So if you're asking questions about how they're getting on, or if you're asking questions about like just really trying to say, oh, you've done really well so far, whatever. I think sometimes the text messages, the SMS does really well for that, because people still associate SMS with a more personal touch compared to an app notification or sometimes the email, because a lot of people are very wise to the fact that most people know it's automated, the emails, and most people know it's probably a notification, probably automated, but the text, I think, really adds that nice personal touch to it. So I think, yeah, a couple of emails, don't overload them, because I know what I'm like. If I get inundated with emails, I tend to just skip through them all. As some of my clients will probably tell you, I just basically skip through loads of emails until I get them on a call. But yeah, I think a few emails at the start, maybe mid through the program or something like that when there's big updates coming in. Push notifications for little tips and stuff like that. And if you want to do any more personalised motivational stuff, then I think SMS is probably a good idea for that one. So I think.
Yeah, I like that. I would also say I always like, for trainers and online trainers, I like the idea of sharing client success stories. And I think they should generally be in emails because they'll be slightly longer. Or you could put it on a blog and you could send a link out to the blog in in-app messages as well as emails. So I think that's just something to add to it. I think the other thing with communication, it depends slightly on your packages as well. If you have, if it's bespoke, so if it's a client who's signed up to a one-to-one package, you can just ask them what they want. What's the easiest form of communication for them? And go with that. If you're more automated in it, then have a more set up with the way you do it. And I would say what you just said, Ash, is bang on. Agree 100%.
Okay, cool. And I do agree actually about the testimonials and that kind of thing being on email. I think one of the cool things you can do, especially PT, is when like your super system is a good example that you put up the other day.
So
the idea that you can use that you can use challenges and things like that to actually help get people into your flagship program. And I think to have emails built into that, and probably have more emails within the challenges than anywhere else, because you can put in testimonials and put in like before and after pictures and testimonial videos if you want to within the emails, because again I think that works really, really well. Yeah, that's cool. What else we got on here? Got any other questions? I keep thinking I've got 2 pages open for different questions here. Going down here. Dan, praising. Oh, how exciting! You've missed it all now, mate.
Yeah, sorry, Dan.
Sorry, Dan. We can't praise you too much.
No.
We'll give you a big head. Okay, with version 3, can I drag and drop exercises across from workout to workout?
Just trying to think about the program design, the design of the program design. No, but it's really easy to add exercise. You probably wouldn't want to, thinking about the way it's set up, because this is going to take some explaining. The setup of the program builder is different in that you kind of, you click a button that just says add exercise, and rather than scrolling up and down to add exercises, you just kind of click add exercise, write it in, and then the options come up. So as you kind of go down, I think it's quicker to just write it as it is and bring up your options, choose your exercise again, than it would be to drag and drop new ones. You can change the order, and you can copy programs, copy templates, etc. But I think the way it's set up in V3 to create programs is probably quicker just to do it from new than it would be to drag across from somewhere else. So that would be a sort of roundabout no.
A roundabout no, but it'll be better anyway.
Yeah. It'll be it's hard to explain how it's kind of going to be a really annoying answer and just say it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah. Wait and
You'll see when it's out. It's quicker and faster to do. It's easier to do. But it won't drag and drop things across.
Cool. Awesome. I like it. I'll tell you what, just quickly going back to that point about the email stuff, Dan's has popped up actually, which is kind of reassuring. It's saying, ask your clients how they prefer to be communicated with. And he must mention a couple of things like busy businessmen might want one email per week, straight to the point, where stay-at-home mums who prefer probably want lots more motivation, we might want more regular communication. So again, ask your clients or have a think about your particular target market or your niche, if you like, and then adjust it to basically what you're saying. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would almost say if your niche is busy businessmen, limit emails. Yeah. Busy businessmen do not want more emails, so go for in-app.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm quite busy and I have to skip for half my emails these days. So people just text me now. Basically.
The busier you are, the less emails you want to be receiving from a personal or a trainer. Yeah. Go with the in-app messages as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. What's got on here? So the Mars asked a question about SMS actually, but I'll come back to that in a second. I'm just going to ask one from Mark, who's mentioned about can we change exercise names in volume? I guess in version 3. What he's talking about. It's follow up from his last question about drag and drop.
I don't think so. No, it's not something we've looked into. We haven't looked into that section at the moment. So of the design, that is pretty much the only section that isn't designed is the custom exercises and the editing of exercises. The trouble with changing the names is it changes the whole database. So the way it's all structured, it can get very messy because obviously so many trainers are using the system. If every single trainer has the same exercise with different names, it can get complicated. It creates room for errors. And what you kind of don't want is room for errors. But as I say, that bit hasn't been designed, so maybe. It will be easier, definitely much easier to add your own exercises, and you'll be able to add them while you're making programs as well. So you may just add your own rather than change the name. You might, it's something I'll bring up with the designers when we next speak to them, whether you can change the name of exercises. It might be something that we look at further down the line past V3.
Cool. Happy days. I do like the idea that you can add exercise on the fly as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time building extra programs.
Yeah, it's been suggested a few times in the group. I think it's a great idea. So it'd just be literally you kind of click a button, add an exercise and carry on rather than come out of the program builder to add exercises. So yeah, that'll be part of it.
Cool, happy days. What's we got on here? So speaking of SMS, it says I have 8 credits. What does that mean? Is there a limit to my SMS? Okay, so yeah, your SMS basically, unlike push notifications, unlike in-app messages and emails and things like that, because SMS are text messages, there's a cost every time they go out, just like there would be for any mobile provider. So that cost that is put on PT Distinction is obviously passed on to you as a PT. It's a good price though. It's a really, really good price what they're offering. It's really, really good. So basically, a credit is 1p and 1 cent. No, 4p and 4 cents. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? Yeah, 4p and 4 cents. So you can buy credits. So for every text that goes out, every SMS that goes out, it will cost 1 credit per SMS that goes out. So if you're bulk doing it, then you say if you've got 10 going out, it'll cost you 10 credits. If you've got 1 going out, it'll cost you 1 credit, basically. And that costs obviously 4p or 4 cents per credit. You can buy credits as well. If you want to know how to buy credits, you can. I could just show you actually. It might be a lot easier than me trying to explain it. So I'm going to quickly share a screen with you. I've no idea whose account I'm actually logged into at the moment, so excuse me if it's something. Oh, it's all right. It's mine anyway. So if we was to go into a group or something like that.
I've lost your volume, Ash.
Lost my volume? I'll tell you what. Let's just go back to this. You there?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I lost it for a second, but
I'll tell you what, I'm not going that again. I got a bit of a crazy lag going off when I tried to go on to do 101 things at once. I'm going to talk you through it instead. So basically, all you need to do is when you go onto a client or a group or something like that, you'll see a setup button in the top right-hand corner. Click on that and it'll come down, it'll say SMS top up. Click on that and then you just type in the number of credits you want to buy and then click OK. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And you can have as many as you want to buy, basically.
Yeah, so I mean, with those, the cost is basically the text messages don't come from us. It's an external service that we use, so that's where the cost is to pay them, and it does cover text worldwide, so it's not just within your country; it's anywhere you want to send them.
Cool. I like it. That's why I think it's so cheap. I think it's a really good price.
Yeah,
it is really, really good. You send like 40 messages for what you pick. Basically, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay, what questions we got on here? That one. How long should a busy businessman workout be, roughly? So this is a trainer question. How long should a busy businessman workout be, roughly? It's the first trainer question I've actually had, which is kind of cool. For me,
go.
As short as possible. As short as possible. Probably realistically, a home workout. I think personally, I think that's what it should be, because most people don't have the time. I mean, if you want to do a program where you want to use gym-based exercises, that's cool. But I think you should definitely give them an option to have a home workout that's as short as you can possibly do it while still getting a result. That's what I think, anyway. I don't know what you think, Tim.
Yeah, I completely agree. See, now I get quite a good insight into this now, because I used to be a trainer and now I'm not. And I would put myself into the busy businessman category these days. And basically, if you train me, it would have to be fun, because I don't have that much spare time, because I've also got children, wife to look after, and I don't want to spend my time being bored. And I think most busy people are like that. So it has to be quite entertaining, has to be short. So just, it doesn't matter really how hard it is, but you don't want it to take an hour, 2 hours, anything like that. If you can get it in 15, 20 minutes, brilliant. That's what you want. And then you want to also see results from it. So it's quite tough. But I would say most busy people want entertaining and short.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, because they want that escape, don't they? They want the escape from just the routine. It's got to be fun. It's got to be short and got to be quick, because they just don't have the time. Hence, they're busy. Hence the time of leash. They are busy businessmen.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, what else we got on here then? I've just got some laughing faces for that one, for that answer.
It's basically showing how lazy we are with our training, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, our lazy lads. 15 minutes, fun one. Cool. I think that, looking at it, most of the questions, I'm just going to go for make sure I've missed anything. Lots of pizza questions. I've still not seen a picture of a pizza yet, apart from Dan saying he's made one. But he hasn't posted it yet.
No proof, Dan.
No proof. Sort it out, Dan. What else we got in here? I think that is most of them.
Cool.
I think we've covered most of the questions. Confident ones as well. Yes. Well, hey, that's all the questions so far. If anyone else has got any other questions, so feel free to add it on. I'll say we've been on here for about an hour and 10 minutes of chatting nonsense, which is good. Can we add images? Dan, good question. To what? It's probably the answer to that one. Okay, so images-wise, you can add them into Peter's Diction. I'm assuming you're talking about the email side of stuff more than the actual exercise side of stuff. Now you can add them in both. That's not a problem. You can add them in custom exercises by just dragging and drop them into the 4 relevant boxes where it just says add images. For your emails, what you need to do is there's a little icon when you open the email in the corner, which has looks like a little picture, like a little mountainscape. If you click on that, it'll then open up a box and it'll actually ask you for a source URL. Now, obviously, that's probably not what you're used to seeing. normally you're probably used to seeing the browse box. So what you need to do there is basically host your image online. Now, in the past, you may watch videos on Peter's things that talk about using Dropbox. Unfortunately, they've changed their rules now, so you can't do that. So the easiest way to do it is probably host it on your website somewhere, whether it's on a page hidden from the public, if you like, or whatever. And then right-click, get the image URL, and you want to paste that image URL into that source code box. And then automatically work out what the portion sizes are. Don't worry about that, it'll just do it for you. And then click OK, and it'll add it into your email for you to use. That's pretty much it. That's how you add the email into that. Hopefully that answers the question. Unless Tim's going to tell me something different about version 3, but I think that's how it's done at the moment anyway.
I mean, actually, it's something we discussed, is basically having some kind of self-hosting ourselves, so you don't have to put the image anywhere else. I would say it's something we're going to do when we get a spare developer for a period of time to be able to do it. We're kind of full on with other stuff at the moment, but since Dropbox changed their rules, it's become a bit harder than we would like it to be. So it's something we will certainly look at doing, a little bit like MailChimp. They host it themselves, and then you can put it in. So when we get a spare developer to actually do it, we will look at changing that. But it might be with V3, it might be after it, it might be sometime before, if we can kind of squeeze it in. It's one of those jobs on the little list of jobs to do that we have.
Yeah, so there's some pretty cool things to do before then, I think, that we should focus on.
Yeah. The thing is, sometimes what we do is if there's a simple way around something, we kind of put it towards the back of the queue. For example, the Dropbox changing their rules, the way around got less simple, so we bring it up the queue a little bit. But there is still a way around, so it's not at the top of the queue.
Yeah, cool. Makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Got a few more questions coming in now. What we've got in here. We'll be able to edit programs from mobiles. Well, you can technically do that anyway. I could do that on my mobile. It's just not very easy.
Sorry, you're breaking up for me.
Oh, sorry, Tim. The question basically, we'll be able to edit programs from mobiles. So, I mean, you can do it at the moment, but it's. I suppose the question is, can we do it more easily in the future?
Yes, it will be much easier to do programs on mobiles with V3. Everything in the software will be easier on mobile with V3. It will display much smoother, much nicer, and program building will be one of those. You literally just write the program and off you go. So it will be very easy on mobile.
Cool. Awesome. What else we got on here? Marketing question. How would you suggest marketing to that group? What group would that be? Busy businessmen. I'm going back on track through his messages.
Businessmen.
Yeah. So yeah, Lamar's asking, how would you suggest marketing to a group of busy businessmen? That's a very good question, and it's quite a long answer. I suppose there's lots of different ways of doing it, and it also depends, I suppose, on what type of busy businessman you're going for. Because, like, I would class myself as a busy businessman, just like Tim would. But then I also know other businessmen that who are in completely different situations to what we are, who would be quite busy, but would hang around in a lot of different circles to what we hang around in. So it is quite a hard question, actually. It is quite a hard question to answer like this. I'd say the best person to speak to would probably be Dan about that, to be fair. He'd be quite a good guy, so he's quite switched on with that sort of stuff.
I think that the thing is, busy businessman, I would subcategorize that myself rather than to say it is one category, because there's people like us who are kind of like, the focus is that you're kind of busy, you want to enjoy it, you want it to be short and fun, and there's other things to do other than train. At the same time, you're a trainer, I used to be a trainer, we know how to train, we just want something right, literally bare minimum information and just go. You've got the other type of busy businessman, and there is a huge ego at play in there. And for that sort of type, you can actually appeal to the ego. So you might even be going back to things like sort of six packs, that type of thing. getting the results, standing out from everyone else. Definitely with all busy businessmen, look at statistics for performance at work for better concentration with training. You could even point to other busy businessmen, sort of leaders who are known to train. So Richard Branson trains every day. Grant Cardone trains every day. Gary Vee trains every day. You know, point at those sorts of people and the link between being successful in business and working out. And then, you know, show that you kind of know those links, you know what type of exercise makes people more efficient in their work, makes people more productive. And yeah, just make it as efficient as possible, really, I would say. Yeah. I don't think busy businessmen want tons and tons and tons of information to read through or forms to fill out or anything like that. It's about efficiency, doing well at work, getting in shape, just getting it done and moving on. So yes, again, it's a kind of a roundabout answer, but there's so much to it.
That's the thing. It's still quite a broad thing, isn't it? Like busy, it's so broad. Really, it's not. I would think about whether, for me, there's two types of business people, and there's those with big ego and there's those without big ego, and I would actually separate it on the side of ego or non-ego, and then you're kind of talking six packs and being better, or you're talking about efficiency and productivity in your work. Yeah, probably a good way of doing it. Pick one of those kind of routes to go down, and then focus everything around that.
Yeah,
and then that's probably.
But don't talk about their big egos.
No, no. Just don't mention that bit. Don't say you've got a big ego, you're like this, because then they're all going to run away. Cool. Can you describe MyZone and what the integration will include? We've actually mentioned that right at the start of this, Anthony, but just so you know, I am recording this, so that I'll put it back up so you guys can watch it anyway. And you'll be able to watch it back because it's a Facebook Live anyway, but I will record it and maybe put it out on the blog or something. Yeah,
cool.
Something like that.
I'll whack it.
Cool. Oh, Dan's mentioned something, which is always good. How would you? Yeah, so Dan's actually helped answer that question about marketing to that group. But excuse me. I'd imagine there'll be two main sources of info where referrals, asking for friends, and search Google. So that's where most of it will come from. So get great results and be easy to find on Google. That's an important thing to do. Someone make a decision based on the trust that they have for you, for your site. Make it look professional and easy to get in touch. Others will need more persuading, so create a relevant lead magnet to get yourself in their email box. So cool,
yeah, just picking up on one thing Dan said there, everything has to look on point as well. It has to look good. Yeah,
these guys are looking for, they're professionals, so they want to see something that looks professional. I think that's going to have to be the point. And I think you mentioned it as well about ease of use as well, to get straight to the point. As in, like, you don't want to be reading for those info to find it. You need to have some sort of good call to action pretty quickly.
Lots of testimonials before and afters. Look at Ultimate Performance. I think they hit that market really, really well.
That Nick Mitchell.
Yeah, Nick Mitchell, Ultimate Performance. Certainly in London, they do that market very, very nicely. And so check out their website. They have just tons of testimonials before and afters. And I think they're very appealing to that market.
Yeah, very successful as well. They've got quite a few gyms now. They've got one in Singapore and a couple of Manchester and somewhere else abroad. I can't remember where it is now, but they're quite successful. Look at Ultimate Performance, Lamar, that was called. It's asking what it was. So Ultimate Performance or Nick Mitchell, the guy that owns it.
Yeah, I think they do really well with that group. I would say they appeal to ego quite a lot as well, which is cool, especially if you're looking in City of London. That is a massive factor.
Cool. Awesome. Dan's just put a pretty cool link up there as well. It's going to help, which is nice. Web design. Thanks, Dan. Always there to help out. Right, what other questions have I missed? With the option to add text to schedule, can we include links or URLs, please? We did mention this a bit earlier, Mark. So yeah, you can never check that out. But kind of was the answer to that. But yeah. So yeah, there'll be links for forms basically. But I think there might be links for other stuff, but we don't know yet for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if we set it up to link, it will link. But as I sort of mentioned when we said about it before, you can already put links into in-app messages or anything like that. So you can still get links out very, very easily to clients.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I think at the moment, that's all the questions, which is good.
Cool. Happy days.
Happy days. So yeah, I think we've been on for nearly an hour and a half now. So if anyone got any questions, you could chuck them on very quickly. But if not, I think we'll probably call it a day, if that's all right for you, Tim.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Hopefully, if you guys have found it really, really useful, just let us know and just drop it in a comment later or whatever, and just say if you want us to do it again. I'm quite happy to do this again. Do it regularly if you want to. Hopefully it's helped out.
Exactly. Cool. If it helps out, then it's good. We'll keep doing them regularly. If it's utterly useless, then we won't do them again.
Yeah, So just let us know. Anthony just dropped up said version 3. You must have missed that bit, mate. Yeah, we talked literally the start of this whole thing. We talked for about 20 minutes on version 3 and what's included and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I mentioned, this is obviously on Facebook Live, so you will be able to watch it back again through the live. However, I have recorded all this, so I'm going to put it all together, and either I'll put it in a blog post or Tim will probably put it in his blog post actually, because he's got all your email addresses, you guys can have it as well. Cool, awesome. Well, in that case, unless you've got anything else you want to say, Tim, I will say bye for now.
Yes, sounds great. Well, thank you people for looking and seeing what we have to say and asking questions and everything like that. Thanks, Ash, for sorting it all out, because we all did not have streamed 2 people live because I'm useless.
That's cool. No worries. No problem at all. It's been fun. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.